All right, Coach G from Bradley. It is great to see you, Andreas. Thank you so much for joining us on this
Glad to be
segment of the
here.
Missouri Valley podcast.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's just cut right to it. I mean, it hasn't been exactly what you thought. I mean, the Gabi Hawk injury definitely has played a role in the outcome of your season so far. So, I mean, how are you managing it with your kids?
Yeah, it's really just the same message. Let's get better every game, every day, every practice, every drill. You really got to take it down to that level, and just stay focused on what we're doing and what we're learning each practice. And I know we haven't, the wins aren't coming, but I was just talking to the staff about where you look at our first game without Gabi, we lost by a point at Evansville, and just watching that game and from this weekend playing Missouri State and SIU, which I thought we competed for 3/4 of each of those games, or 3.5 actually against SIU, and we are a better team, and you can see things coming together. And we count on 3 freshmen, a lot of and they're playing against super seniors, so it looks a little ugly at times, but you could see it coming together. And it's just hey, just stay focused. You're going to have adversity, you're going to have tough times, but that's sports, that's life. A lot of life lessons this year, which is one of the reasons I love basketball. It's a team sport, so we talk about that a lot. And at the end of the day, the silver lining is these young kids are there's not going to be super seniors in the conference a couple of years from now, and you guys will definitely have the benefit of all the experience you're getting this year.
I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, it's a deeper dive into the detail of what you're doing and your messaging and how it's coming across every day. Now, it might not show up on the left side or on the right side of the column, but on the left side, if you're seeing progress based on going to the tournament last year and then having some adversity with the injuries, you got to feel like you're heading in the right direction overall. Like, you got to see the big picture here, right?
Well, absolutely. And yes, we've had a lot of success over the last several years, and but it really is about I'm thankful that our culture is very strong in our program. We have competitors, and so when you have strong culture, and I know coaches talk about it a lot, but really culture is everything. And if we weren't as strong as we were in that regard, then I'm not sure we could continue to improve through the adversity. But we have it, and it just reminds me of my old high school coaching days, because we get down to the nitty gritty in the drills and the basics, and that's not going to change. And you can't. It's hard, when you're scouting teams and you have to quick turnaround, especially in the Valley. You got one day off in between games, but you can't. I can't go away from the fundamentals and the basics of basketball right now. And so I think just having that high school coaching experience is paying off right now in terms of how to approach every day, and let's not get bored with the details, because it's going to pay off eventually.
How has all of this made you a better teacher? You've always been an excellent teacher. You've always played with incredible fundamentals, and then you put concepts around the fundamentals in your personnel, but you have to be able to teach at a different level. And it sounds to me like you're really doing the micro stuff right now with your young group.
Yeah, and that's what you have to. I mean, every coach, at this level loves the game planning, the X's and O's. I mean, that's so fun. But you do sometimes you have to shift and you have to pivot and you have to read your team. And if we're out there talking about schemes and analyzing X's and O's, we're not going to get anywhere, because you have to play with your personnel. And right now it's fundamentals. It's we're tweaking some things, obviously, and we got to continue to tweak, find an extra scorer out there. But it's really why I got into basketball. I've always loved the fundamentals, and so you just have to pivot a little bit and know that it's going to pay off in the future. And I do love our team. They're so coachable. You hate to have adversity, but this team, they are fun to coach. They just want to please. I'd like for them to have a little more swag out there, and so the coaches get out there and we try to swag it up a little bit, just to teach them how to play with some swag, and they laugh at us a lot, and but we can embarrass ourselves. We're fine with it. But I think that's we're missing some swag. We really are, and we get, it'll come out eventually.
I can't imagine you being a swaggy trash talker at all. Like, give me an example of what you mean. Like you and the coaches are trying to bring some swag every day.
Oh shoot. I mean, we get our coaches into practice and we just tell them, you're not scoring on me. I'm getting out there in warm-ups now before games, and I'm just talking trash to them from the get-go and tell them that they're going to have to, they can't score on me. Well, obviously they can, because I could barely move anymore, but they're just trying to teach them that, trying to find that little fire in them. And I know our coaches enjoy it. I have a great staff, and we have a couple coaches out there practicing every day, and it's they'll give it back to us every now and then. So it's fun. But I think just, again, just trying to get them to play with a little bit more confidence, and having fun with it. But our staff does a good job with them. And like I said, they're very coachable, and you see bits and pieces of it coming every day in practice. And I thought for 50-60% of this past weekend at Mo State and at SIU, you can see it in chunks.
I think every coach has a trick shot in their bag that they pull out of practice, or, like for me, I'll take on any kid in the country from 15 feet. I mean, just bring it, I don't,
Yeah.
I'll talk a little trash to myself when I'm walking by, like, that's the best you got. Are you going to make a shot today? Or, that kind of stuff is just fun to mess with the kids. You mentioned culture, and I know you've been around the game a long time, and I know how much you love the game, how passionate you are. Like I said, I've known you for a while. When you say culture, I want to know for you, because I do think sometimes it sounds like a cliche. I think everybody talks about it, but not everybody really can explain exactly what theirs is. As a parent, you've got grandkids, you've been around, what tough love is. How important is that around your culture?
Oh, it's everything. And I got into coaching, not for the money. It was high school. I was making like $1,500 a year. And the whole reason is what I learned, playing at Bradley under Coach Boyer, just the lifelong lessons. And she's still my sounding board. And but she created that. And I've been blessed to play for strong female coaches who work tremendously hard. And our core values are gratitude, ownership, accountability, and toughness. And we start with gratitude. And it's something maybe that people don't talk about enough in Division I athletics anymore, but grateful people are usually the happiest people. So we talk about that a lot. And, it's just talking to the team the other day, when you have a family someday and you're working a tough job and you wake up and you're sick, you got to figure out how to take care of your kids and go to work and figure it out. And I think just that toughness is something I think you'll say is what if you take away. And I told him, I said, guarantee in 5-10 years from now, you'll say, Coach, you're right, I'm having a rough day, but I played basketball at Bradley, and if I got through that and everything and the demands of playing Division I basketball, and especially with the academic requirements here, I can get through a sick day with my kids. I can get through, loss of a loved one. I can get through, potentially losing a job or maybe not being promoted, even though I thought I should be. But those are things that you probably know as well. As I always dip into those on those tough days. Like, hey, I had to go through some adversity as a student athlete. I can do it as an adult.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Debbie.